in this video, I decided to have a big old crash in Daily Race A. Daily Race B, I get pushed out wide and go on a bit of a journey. And in Daily Race C, Huggy has a crash instead and goes absolutely flying in a Ferrari. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2025 and week 27. We finally have what is probably the best ever week of daily racing ever introduced in Gran Turismo in terms of sports and the 7, I'd say. This is pretty epic this week, I'm not gonna lie. Now, first up in the background, we've got the Honda Civic touring cars. Woohoo! And we are at Tokyo Expressway South Clockwise, a track we have not raced in Gran Turismo 7 yet. I'm pretty sure we did it in GT Sport, though. Now, in terms of what we're doing here, we're doing 4 laps into rolling starts on sports medium tyres and the Type R touring car. As you know, you can see that in the background. So, good fun on this one. The chicane is a bit sketchy, if I do say so myself, so if you don't like sketchiness, some timestamps there to jump to Daily Race B or Race C respectively, because those races are very good as well. However, we do all 3 races here, and today is no exception to that. So we go to the key statistics. We've never used this track, so we've never done the track car combo, and all of that is all blank. Now, in terms of issues, the chicane has massive sausages, which will send you absolutely flying, and there aren't that many overtaking spots. You've got the hairpin, and then the chicane isn't really an overtaking spot, so there's one place, and that is it. But hey, it is what it is. There is some good side-by-side action on the straight, so let's jump into this one, and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then at the start of this race. The bigger man starting in pole with their own livery. Yes, you can apply your own livery as well. I chose the yellow Civic Type R and it's rolling start. So we kick off here all in a line as we head towards turn 1 with a bullet train going in the opposite direction then. So we're going to fast forward a little bit towards the hairpin, so we all catch up to each other here. Hard on the brakes I go, looking on the inside. Now, if you do remotely start to turn in this car while you're on the brakes, it does lose all braking efficiency whatsoever, so do be careful of that. I nearly went into Blue Racer, but fortunately, Blue Racer avoided me. I avoided Blue Racer. We carry on racing like nothing ever happened. So, long straight here. Do be careful of understeering a little bit into the wall. As you see up ahead, Red Banger's gone into the wall. Wasn't sure where they're going to go here, so I go towards that right-hand side as we go onto the brakes right now. Slowing it down there. Max Power's in the barrier behind me then as we go through this right-hander. I'm going to head towards this chicane and very dangerous chicane this. And going side by side as we see up ahead. Yeah, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Anyway, we're going to go into here, and what's kicking off there? Oh, there we go. Somebody's crashed as we continue on out there. Very big boss slow out there. Sparks Fury slow. Jimmy Kiwi, 5-second penalty there for the Kiwi up ahead. That is unfortunate indeed. In fact, you're going to see them actually leave here then. So Sparks disappears, Kiwi disappears. Sparks for taking the penalty, by the way. Didn't actually leave there, and we gain a couple of positions. So through the left-hander we go here then. I'm going to head down towards this hairpin once again. This is the main overtaking spot. I said that in the introduction to this race. You can see there I've got a run on Blue Racer then. As we head down here, I'm going to go hard on the brakes right now. Blue Racer there, just going a bit deeper, a little slight here, trying to get on the inside of them. There's them in third gear. Oops, somebody in the barrier there. We'll take that off. Oh, it's bigger man in the barriers. Conster slowed down there as well. I assume waiting for the bigger man. We're now up into P6. Shadow with a penalty up ahead as well. And I'm really after Shadow slipstream here. And we finally get it there as we do get P6 solidified then. So through there. That's a big word, isn't it? Got to use that word. Right, we'll continue on through here. Head up to the fast right hand then is Blue Race going to go for the move. Looking on the inside then as we go into the brakes. Blue Race is sending it down the inside. Does Blue Race get it stopped? Yes, he does. Beautiful stuff then as we continue on through here. Oh, small tap. Nothing major here. And who is that behind? That is Mario Sonic looking to get on the inside then. So we have to really let them go there. No real way to go side by side through there. It does cost us quite a bit of time, so we drop down to P8 right now. Let's fast forward this a little bit here then. And Mario Sonic going for the move then in that slipstream, takes full advantage of that on the inside. We're going to try and follow suit then as we head towards turn number 1. Hard on the brakes we go. Keep it on the inside line then. Can we get this done? Look at this. Beautiful side by side action. And Blue Racer maintains position. Really well defended there from Blue Racer. Showed you can defend on that outside line here at South Clockwise then. As we go into the left hand, we've got Max Power very close behind as well as we continue on through here. Little brush with the wall there up ahead. I think that was Shadow. Blue Racer also brushes with the wall. Third time basking then at the hairpin. Can we get it done then as we go into this braking zone? Hard on the brakes now as we go in towards this right hander. We go wide this time. And we're going to bring it back on the inside of Mario Sonic then. Oh, Blue Racer, slight contact with Mario Sonic there. So we do get the advantage then on the exits. And it's a bit of deja vu here because once again, we are side by side with Blue Racer. on the straight. This time we got a bit more of a run, and then Mario Sonic gives us a bump draft as well. So I give Mario Sonic a bit of slipstream as well to make sure they continue on past. And we are now back up into P6. Blue Racer looking around the outside of Mario Sonic. Does he get it done there? Looks like he does. That beautiful move there from Blue Racer in that rear view mirror. As we go onto the brake turn, going into here now. I've hit the brakes a tiny bit too late then. Notice there how the sausage really does impact you. I'm into the barrier, and I'm losing all that hard work here as I drop down and down and down the order. I try and stay very static there in terms of my line once I get on the circuit. That's P12, folks. That's P12. You see me laugh my head off. I always laugh at my mistakes because that's what they are at the end of the day. Red Banger absolutely sent it down the inside there. Not sure they're going to get that stopped, and they go into the barrier. So we look to get back past them as we go into P12. And we'll see if we can catch up to the pack up ahead and get involved on this final lap. So through the S's we go then. Really hard set of corners to get right, especially this one here, as I get it wrong right there. So speak of the devil, should I say. You do clip the wall on the inside. It's just the way the corner is. But even so, I like this track. I do think it's fun. I just think the chicane needs to remove the sausages that are chicane. And this is a really good track. It really is. I think the sausages do ruin it a little bit. Anyway, you can see there, 3 wide up ahead in the distance. We're side by side with Red Banger as we go through here. Unfortunately for them, they're in second gear. So when they change, they lose out, and we benefit from that. So we're in P12 right now. Still can see that pack in the distance. Oh, Max Power's had a bit of an issue there. Going to head towards the chicane. Side by side, Max Power. Now, side by side here. It doesn't really work. And you see there, Max Power does back out of it because it's just so difficult to do that side by side. So P11, it is then on this final lap. Through the right-hander we go. Going to head towards the line then, and that is us with that race. So a good fun race in my opinion, this one. Now in terms of scores on the doors, it's a 6 out of 8. I think this is a cracking race. Could be small little improvements here and there, but overall, you can have fun with this one. You really can. DR is on, by the way, so do be careful of that. Normally DR updates are off in Daily Race A, but they are on for this one. Now, this lap is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you do check that out in the comments section below. And your first brake marker here is the 100 board there. So the 100 board is your brake marker. Now, if you do it on lap 1, it's just after the 100 board. But lap 2, when you got the momentum, it's literally on it right now. It's better to brake a little bit earlier for this one. So hit the brakes, drop to 4th gear, and watch how the rear rotates a little bit in this car. And then try and keep it above 80 miles an hour. Accelerate here, and then go up to 5th gear. And then you might want to drop to 4th gear here because it just gives it a bit of rotation. And then I go up to 5th on the next one, and then for this left-hander I'm just going to lift a little bit, let the car roll, and then accelerate through the corner. You can drop to 4th if you want to. There is a little bit more time if you do that. However, I didn't want to mess about with the gears. I'll try and keep it nice and easy for you guys. So we head towards the hairpin then. Now, I'm stopping this very early, okay? So we're just before the 150 board. What you're looking for is the pillar after the 150 board, okay? Which I've highlighted right there. You're braking just before you get to that. So you're not braking now, you're braking here. And I've just stopped it on chase cam right there. So it's just before that pillar there. You're going to hit the brakes. Brake in a straight line, okay? Keep out wide here, and then release the brakes, and then turn in. Notice I stay in 3rd gear there. You can drop to 2nd, but 3rd gear is absolutely fine. Straighten up as quick as you can on the exit. And you're going to nearly 10,000 RPM. Just before the 10,000 mark is when you change gear. We fast forward here towards the next fast right-hander. Now this one, you need a bit of guts in here, okay? So there's the clock. You're braking just before you get to this. Now this does seem like it's too late. However, the car will turn in here. So you're going to hit the brakes. You're going to drop to 4th gear and watch the reaction of the car as I turn it into this corner. I will trail brake a little bit as well here, so just keep that in mind. So hard on the brakes, trail brake in 4th gear, let the car roll a little bit, try to slow the car down, keep it around 85 miles an hour there, and then through I go. You can be so aggressive there. You're going uphill, remember, so you can brake that a little bit later. Now, I've highlighted the 50 board here for the chicane. Now, the chicane is all about carrying momentum, okay? So try and stay above 70 miles an hour. As you go in here, you're going to aim for the first sausage, but as you aim for the first sausage, before you hit it, you turn left. And that allows the weight transfer to happen before you hit it. So that's what we're going to do right now. We turn, and then we're going to turn. And notice how we were already turning just, and we can clean on, go through. It's critical you get the turn right there, okay? Just before you hit the sausage. We go to 5th gear on this final corner, and we're going to head towards the line. So remember, you can check out this lap on the Delta app down in the description and pinned comment below. And if you actually get the full app, obviously you can compare then versus my Pro Lap. Just load the Pro Lap, and it will be there. We've already jumped to Daily Race B here then, where I'm in that Lamborghini, and we're at Spa-Francorchamps, and we are doing 4 laps here. It's a rolling start on racing hard tyres. You're probably going, Tidge, a rolling start at Spa. This doesn't look very fun. However, we're at the Spa 24-hour layout, so everybody starts on a straight. Well played, Gran Turismo. I've complained about it for ages, and it's happening right now. So it does mean we've only used this track twice, technically, because it is a 24-hour layout. Well, only once with this car and track combo. Last used on the 25th of March, 2024, a year ago. Now, there is a lack of grip there with the racing hard tyres, and the bus stop chicane can get a little bit tight here, especially because we have a much better rolling start. Without further ado then, let's jump into this one. Now, I do the race in the Lamborghini. However, I do the time trial lap in the Nissan GTR because that car is looking very strong. Let's jump into this one and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then on this next race. So we've got a Nissan on pole. P30 black and the Ferrari in P2 there. Marisonic in P3. And there's a round of applause from me because everybody starts in a straight line. Well played, Gran Turismo. It's why I banged on about it. I know it's not necessarily because of me, but the fact that it's here now. 24-hour layout. Well played. Let's use this one from now on. Right behind Blue Racer here on the Kemmel Straight as we go onto the brakes and looking around the outside here at Lake Combe. In we go. There's all sorts going on up ahead. We managed to slow it down. Bruno racing behind, looking to get in on the action as we go through this right-hander then. We're going to continue on out of here. I have to go defensive then versus that Nissan. We go towards the right-hand side. They go towards the left then as we go up here then. Look at it, side-by-side action. This is what a good rolling start looks like. It really does. Now we have to slow it up there. Ugandan just got a little bit squirrely there in that AMG. We go into this left-hander then, side-by-side, and through we go. And unfortunately, I just get pushed off wide. I'm not sure whether that was server-related or whether they didn't give me enough room, but we'll have a look at that one in the bloopers as we always do. But that does mean I've got dirt on my tyres, and absolutely everybody is going to go on by now because of the lack of grip with those dirty tyres. Velasco goes on by there in the Ferrari. Max Power looks to go by, but then backs off. Not sure what's going on there then. Max Power, maybe you could confirm down in the comments. We continue on with this race. We'll fast forward a little bit here just so we get back in the race action. But look up ahead. Everybody's so close. This is why I really wanted the 24-hour layout in the past. We're going to head towards Blodgem on them. In we go. We have to slow it down a little bit there as we're catching Velasco. Max Power so far back. Managed to get an insane run here. Does Max Power hard on the brakes we go then. What are we, 2-3 wide up ahead. All very close here. And everyone is looking to try and keep it nice and clean as we go through this left-hander. Very hard to get this right when you're going so slow. There's no aero working. The racing hard tyres have a lack of grip. Very easy to understeer there. Well played to everybody as we continue on out of here. Look ahead there. 3 wide now. Heading towards Rouge and Radion. Not the place to do it. So I'm staying out wide here to make sure I'm not too close so I can get a run. A bit like what Max Power did on the bus stop chicane. So through the right we go. With this side by side there. Incredible. Anyway, we've got the run here. Max Power's going a bit slow there. Shelty in the infamous TCR Beetle then as we head towards Lake Combe, then down this Kemmel Straight. We've got a bit of a run then. We go towards left-hand side. We're going to look at trying to follow Savlio then as we go onto the brakes. We're looking to slow it down. And then you can see the server has a massive issue there. And unfortunately, the Polish driver goes off. Max Power goes round the outside. And we continue on at the back of the pack because I wasn't sure whether that was my fault or not. But very clearly there, the server had a big reaction. So we advance a bit further on here. The Nissan, had a penalty there as well. Don't feel I should have waited for that one, in my opinion. As you could see, it was the server. We'll check in the bloopers, though, just to be sure. And I will apologise in advance if I should have waited there. Slight tap on Max Power. That is my mistake. That's why I back out. So let Max Power continue on his way here. And we advance further on then. Lap number 3 here at Spa. It's been quite a frantic race. Look at this. The pack is still all very close together. So when you have 4 laps at Spa on this layout, it's great. Shelty's just got a little bit wide here at Pouan then over the white line. So Shelty's going to have dirt on his tyres. Not to go into airport. Excellent. I'm on the right place here. Right place, right time. So Shelty's really wide there due to dirt on his tyres. But look at this. Max Power gets on the inside of Shelty. Gets a 2 for 1. Unbelievable move there by Max Power. You see the smile on my face. I love it when people do good moves, and that is just exceptional. So, final lap here then at Spa-Francorchamps here on the 24-hour layout. As we continue on through there, Max Power looking to get the inside of the Lamborghini. Does he do it? All very close there. Good move, though. Was on the apex there. Didn't go out wide at all. I'm looking on the inside here, making it 3 wide. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to back out of this completely then. And that's exactly what I did. So we are staying on the inside line right now. We've got I'm Very Big Boss looking to lose out on a couple of positions here. We head towards the left-hander then. I'm on the outside of Max Power. This time, I got a bit scared because of what happened on lap 1. But this time, I get some room. Max Power always leaves the room. And we go on through into P12 then. Happy days indeed. As we go towards Pouan then. So I've actually had some good moves at the end of this race. But it's been a frantic race, hasn't it? Really, really good race. And up ahead, you can see they're still very close together here. As we head towards this right-hander then. Not sure what's happened. Up ahead, contact between Sparks Fury and Very Brisket as we continue into this right-hander. Sparks Fury had the brake lights on there. Not sure what's going on. That's going to cost me some time here because I know where to go versus Very Brisket. And look who's catching up to me with a run again. It's Max Power in that Porsche 911 as he goes along the right-hand side here then. I'm trying to now get some area of space where I can go as we head towards Blodgem on then. I've got to give Max Power some room there. That cost me some time. And then our Very Big Boss gets a massive run on me here. I'm dropping back down to P14 as we head on the brakes for the final time here at Spa. We slow it down. We get it stopped to the apex. As we go into this left hand, I'm trying to get it turned now. Very big pulse, defends that very nicely. Loses the rear end a little bit there, and that does cost me a position. But P14 in the end. Good race. It's just unfortunate with what happened in that one. I say lack of grip did cost me 6.5 out of 8 there. So we jumped to lap brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. I'm in an Nissan GTR for this one, plus 5 brake belts. And as you head towards turn number 1, we are looking for the 100 board on the left-hand side there. So brake just after that disappears off your screen there on that left-hand side, okay? Brake in a straight line. Most cars, you're going to drop to first gear here. There's very odd exceptions for second gear, but you will short shift on the exit. So that's what we're going to do here. Stay out wide. We come in there nice and tight. We get a nice angle on the corner. Up to second gear. Be careful on exit because the rear wheels will wiggle. Or well, not the rear wheels, at least. They'll spin up, but the rear will wiggle a little bit. We're going to head to Rouge and ready on them. As we get here, just use a lot of the curb on the left-hand side. And this is all flat. Nice and easy. I just wanted to show that. Nice and easy. Straighten up and continue on down the Kemmel straight then. So your next brake marker is the start of the curb, and that's going up here on the left-hand side. Notice that I've just got on the brakes right now, just before I get to that curb. Now, you're going to brake to second gear, and most cars, this is what you do, okay? You brake to second gear, you trail brake in towards the curb, and then you're going to go up to third gear. It just gives you some balance then on the left-hander. You will want to cut a lot on the inside. Let me demonstrate. So, notice second gear, then up to third gear. I'm going to lift off a little bit, get over on the left-hand side, accelerate, a little bit of a wiggle there in a lot of cars, lift off a little bit, and once you clip the curb, then flat out through it. Okay, you have to clip the curb to accelerate through the corner. If you don't, you're going to understeer off. That curb just lets the car rotate that little bit. As we go down here then, the start of the curb, once again, is your brake marker, or just before you get to it, should I say. It's actually better to brake a bit earlier here as well, just to make sure you keep a nice, tidy inside line. The reason for that is your accelerating marker is also on the inside. So we notice that we trail brake all the way in, keeping it nice and tight. And the third bollard, okay? The third bollard on your right. It's like I'm giving you directions. The third one, you can count them, do whatever you like. It's the last one here. That is your accelerating marker. Notice I've gone up to third gear. Very unusual in the GTR, but it's got enough pulling power to do this. Most cars, you're going to leave this corner in second gear. So we accelerate out of this corner. We're going to head over towards the right-hand side, okay? You have these gaps in the fence panels. You need to make sure you've hit the brakes and already started turning before you get to that gap right there, okay? It's the second to last one before this corner. Now, as long as you do that, you can then clip the curb on the inside and make it absolutely fine on the exit. If you brake remotely late for this one, you are doomed. Again, I short shift here just to make sure the car remains grippy and stable. And we continue down towards P1 now. Now, P1 has a very obvious brake marker. They're on the left-hand side. There's 3 of them. You've got the dark grey to light grey on the Armco. You have 2 marshals, or the end of the fence. Whichever one you want to choose. They're all there on the left-hand side. So you're going to hit the brakes. I would drop 2 gears for this corner and then short shift up a gear in most cars in this situation, okay? So that's what I should do here. Drop to 3rd gear and then up to 4th gear. It just gets that little bit of rotation that you really need in this car. You need it on other cars as well, which is why I suggest this for most cars. Give it a try first and then see how your car reacts. We head towards the right-left here at Spa. The gantry above you is an excellent brake marker. Remember, you're on racing hard tyres. You do need to brake that a little bit earlier this time. Now, I did highlight the 50 in the start of the curb there. You may want to use that, but the gantry here, much better brake marker because you need to make sure you keep a nice tight line here. So notice I'm trail braking, down to second gear, then short shift to third. I'm going to lift off a little bit here. I'll really want to clip the curb. I don't. It does cost me a little bit of time here. Be careful on exit. The dark green stuff on that right-hand side are very slippy. So we have the red and yellow barriers here. So the red to yellow before the start of the curb up ahead. This is your brake marker, okay? Brilliant brake marker. I use this all the time now. So I'm going to drop to second gear and do a short shift again. Make sure you clip the curb on the inside. Not mount it, but just clip it, okay? So second gear. Do I clip it? There we go. Up to 3rd gear. Accelerate out of the corner. Be careful on the exit. That's very slippy on the left-hand side. On the right is the start of the curb. That is your turning marker. Now, you can do this corner flat. Absolutely flat, not a problem, especially with the lower power in these cars now. The nose doesn't lift as much, so it shouldn't understeer. Turn in. Now, if you do understeer a little bit, just lift a tiny bit. You really want to clip the curb because it will rotate you that little bit more. And notice there, absolutely flat. We can accelerate now all the way to Blanchimont. And at Blanchimont, guess what? It's flat, so just turn in. Try not to mount it as much as I did there, but even so, it's absolutely fine. You stay in 5th gear. What we're looking for is on the right-hand side. That billboard there, that billboard, at least the end of it now, because of the lack of power, is your brake mark here. You want to brake in a straight line now, all the way to the curb, which is in the distance, okay? You can see that on chase cam. You're braking in a straight line towards the outside. You'll then go to 1st gear and then release the brakes. And then notice how the release the brakes, the car turns. We accelerate a little bit, and then we lift, and we dab the brakes a little bit there, but you don't have to dab the brakes. We go to 2nd gear, and on the exit, we exit the corner, and we shouldn't have too much wheel spin there. Now, you will get some in some cars, but as you see there, absolutely not a problem. We We jump to Daily Race C then, where we're in at Nissan. Oh, no, it's not a Nissan, sorry. It's a Honda NSX. I knew it was an NSX. Now, we're doing 10 laps at Suzuka. There's no DR updates on for Race C, which is unusual. It's a rolling start. Racing hard tyres, we've been asterisk there, so you have to pit at least once. So put wet, because we have wet weather here. And it is the Japanese Gran Turismo Championship. Yes, we have some very unique cars here. Now, we've used this track 25 times. It's literally the most used track in Gran Turismo 7. We last used it on the 26th of May. Now, there is some extreme weather out there, so you are going to have to be careful. And there are big differences between the cars as well. Some are extremely quick in a straight line, but absolutely terrible in the corners. Yes, it's a very interesting one. This is a fantastic choice of cars. Really well done to Gran Turismo. Let's jump into this one, and let's have a look exactly what happens. Here we are then at the start of the final race. We've got Breeder Racing starting in the Nissan GTR GT500. I chose that NSX. I wasn't sure what to pick at the time. Now, if you are sure you are enjoying this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. But you can see there, max power in the Porsche flies on by. And look at the McLaren behind me, also catching up to me quick. Breeder Racing went from the front to the back there to do a last to first challenge, I expect, or very close to that. No, it is last to first. We continue on through here, and what a range of cars we got in here. We've got Diablo up ahead. Now, I'm going to do my time trial lap in that Diablo, just to let you know, and we'll see that in the, well, towards the end of this video. It's in the timestamps if you want to jump there. But right now, we are in this race in the NSX, which is very good at handling, but doesn't quite have the speed, as you've seen already, when max power blitzed past me like I was standing still. So through left we go. And does anybody notice down at the bottom as well? We have wet weather. Now, I didn't mention that in the intro, but wet weather is here. So this one, we do have some wet weather predicted in this race as we go through this right-hander. Oh, red banger there off in that NSX. And you can see shadow on the inside of the Diablo. Then we continue on out here. And look at this. It's all getting very, very sketchy very quickly. NSX is very slow acceleration as we continue on towards the hairpin. Then we get past the Diablo of Ugandan Commando. And up. Oh, my word. Who's that behind? Somebody sent it there and off, didn't they, behind? Right, we continue on out of here then. What we will do is fast forward then towards Spoon Curve. And look at the GTR. Look how fast that is in a straight line. So we're going to give some room down the inside to Bruno Racing. Brilliant side-by-side action as we go towards the second corner then. Beautiful stuff here. And we're going to continue on out of there. And that GTR is just going to accelerate away right now. But critically, look in the mirror. Look at that Diablo. Look at the speed difference in this car. It's insane. It absolutely flies on by here. Much faster than that GTR as well. As we head towards 130R, in we go. We look to slow it down the Diablo. Well, yeah, it can accelerate, but turning apparently is a different kettle of fish. So we're going to head on the brakes now. Up ahead, we've got somebody off at the chicane. Who is that? That looks like Sav Leo's gone off there as we continue on out of here. Oh, Spark Fury has gone off as well in the McLaren F1 road car GTR long tail thingamajig there. One black McLaren F1 GTR race car. I will get it right eventually. And you can see there the Diablo clean on by again. You see that car is very quick in a straight line, and this is where it gets a bit difficult in this race sometimes, because you could be in a cracking handling car like this Honda NSX, but you can't get past the Diablo up ahead because on the straights it flies on by. Shelty there going off the circuit slightly. Not sure what happened there, but we go up into P10. Look at that Diablo, it's gone already. It's like half a second on the straight, easy. So we go into 130R, and I just take too much speed here. Look at this, we're off. But we managed to hold on to it. I don't know how I kept that alive, because normally you end up in the barrier when you do that. But hey, it worked apparently as we continue on through here. Look at that weather map, though. We've got some purples on there, and there has been some purple races today. Now, I just want to clarify something as well. You're not going to see me pit on this particular race. So the very first race of the day, there was no mandatory pit stop. There is a mandatory pit stop since. So when you choose to pit, will actually help you in this race. So where you're stuck behind the Diablo, you might want to pit early in the NSX, for example. It does give some additional strategy. You may not want to pit until wet weather comes in as well. So there is some strategy there. I'm not doing that in this race because it's not mandatory in this race. Polyphony Digital update it, and that's what you get sometimes when you do the first race of the day. You get to experience the race in an untested form, and sometimes it'd be quite exciting. So we'll continue on through here. I actually think the post-race now, thinking about it, is much better. Shadow's just got off there. Oh, managed to catch it though as they come back on the circuit. Well held there by Shadow. As we continue to 130R, we're up into P9 right now. And you notice the gap to lead hasn't really changed either. There's lots of racing going on throughout this race. As we go into 130R there, we carry a lot of speed through there. You can't carry that much speed in a Diablo. I can tell you that much for free. It's 10 miles an hour less easy here. So we catch a Sonic then in a Honda NSX. So I'm literally the fastest NSX here, I believe. in this particular race, but trying to catch up to other cars is a bit more difficult as we go onto the brakes and slowing it down nicely there. It goes a tiny bit deep, nothing major though, as we continue on out of here. The wet weather has now stopped, so we are looking at a dry rest of the race. You can see the sunshine coming out here at the Suzuka circuit as well, and Marisonic goes very defensive on the inside. Marisonic is saying, Tidge, I do not want you to go past. I understand, but I will not actually conform to that, as I do want to get past Marisonic. So we come into here then. The Diablo's off again in the distance. Of course it is, because that thing is chaos on the straights and chaotic in the corners. So through we go towards the end of lap number 7 now, right behind Marisonic as we head towards 130R now. I can't actually see the brake marker there, so I have to really slow it down. And we've got a yellow flag up ahead. Not sure what's going on here as we head onto the brakes. Oh, I think somebody's been off up ahead, not sure. Oh, nearly into Marisonic, distracted by the yellow flag there, apparently. So we continue on through here then. What we will do is fast forward a bit further then towards turn number 1. Here we go onto the brakes. We go, Marisonic. It's gone a bit deep then. Can we get on the inside? We're trying it. Nearly. I think we did actually touch Marisonic on the side there. So we do let them go there in that situation. Good bit of racing though. It is very hard to overtake here at Suzuka, or find good places to overtake when you are not the fastest car in a straight line. However, when you're NSX versus NSX, there is no real difference other than slipstream, and Marisonic there gets it all wrong on the exit of the Casio triangle. We're looking to get the inside here then and end up in P8. Can we do it is the question. Consta stands P7, so I assume it was Consta that was off. We'll look at that one in the bloopers then as we head towards turn number 1 on the inside of Marisonic. We do get that job done there. Happy days indeed as we continue on through here then, and we'll advance a bit further on in this race. Lap number 10, Hoggy up ahead then as we head to 130R. Now I know what happens here. Have a laugh, folks. But Hoggy goes into it. It goes absolutely flying. Big old crash. Look at the bloopers in that one. You see me laugh my head off there. That's no offense to Hoggy. It was just so funny at the time. Up ahead, Max Power's having a bit of a race there with Consta through the Casio triangle. We've kept the place from Marisonic. We're going to accelerate out of here and head towards the line then. So a chaotic race there. Well played Bruno Racing. Went from the back to the front in that Nissan GTR. And you can see there, speed does make a difference in terms of overtaking, because it's Nissan 1, 2, and 3. Now, this race is an absolute banger, and it nearly got the maximum score. And I was tempted to put the maximum score, because the rolling start actually is pretty damn good, to be honest. But 9.5 out of 10. It is so close. Right, so let's jump into a lap guide then, and this is brought to you by Coach Dave Academy and the Delta app. Make sure you check out the description and the pinned comment for the laps and also the app itself. So we're going to head towards turn number 1 then. We've got the 100 board here. That's what I'm using in the Diablo, plus 3 brake balance. You may want to use the 50 board or the escape road if you're in a different car. So I'm going to try and point out all the brake markers depending on the car, but this car's so fast. The 100 board is the brake marker. Notice how I trail brake into this corner. I'm trail braking, still trail braking, drop to second gear, still trail braking. I then go up to third gear in this car because it is very sketchy on power. Even in third gear, it can slide all over the place. Now, a brake marker I never usually point out at Suzuka. On the right hand side, we've got the sort of like red and white tire wall going into the grey stuff. That is a brilliant brake marker for this first left-hander. So I want you to dab the brakes and chuck it in, okay? So only a quick dab of the brakes. You want the car turned in. Highly recommend doing that. Let's see how we turn in, and there we go. And then every start of each curb on the S's here is going to be a dab of the brakes, okay? And you'll already be turning into the corner. The reason for that is we need to slow the car down and try and rotate it a little bit. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're already turning into the corner. We're going to dab the brakes that little bit more, and then we'll accelerate through the corner. There's a dab of the brakes, and then accelerate. And then once again, start the curb there, and then we get over, and then we accelerate. Then we get to the big one here. This is the normal one that we do. So on the right side there is the start of the curb. Now, you can stay in third gear in the Diablo, but most cars you are going to want to drop a gear usually. Now, the reason I stay in third gear here is it just settles the car. This car is all over the place with the amount of power it's got and the lack of handling, should we say. So I stay in third gear right now, and that's just to balance the car. So notice there, slowly onto the power. We lift off this left-hander, we clip the curb, and we accelerate. Now in the Diablo, you have to be very careful there from oversteer. Notice I was on 3/4 power for quite a while there. We head over towards the left-hand side. Now I've highlighted tons of brake markers here. 100 board in the Diablo works well. The first lamppost on the right side works well on the Diablo. The second lamppost, the NSX, works well. So you're using one of these 3 brake markers either at it or in between it in the relevant car you are using. Okay, so third gear, try not to jump the curb there. All the cars I tried, I went miles if I hit the curb. Now, for Tidgney 2 here, the Marshall's 10 on the left-hand side works well for all cars. Because you're carrying the right speed in the right car, that Marshall 10, absolutely perfect. Now, in the Diablo, it varies in terms of gears, whether you want to be in second or third gear. So this time, I try third gear, and I accelerate through there. And again, I need to straighten up here before going full plant on the power. So over towards the right side, it will require a little lift there in the Diablo. Other cars won't need a lift. So again, adjust accordingly. Start of the curb here in the Diablo works well. In the NSX, I was actually using nearly the Dunlop sign, hitting my left-hand side of my screen. Just to point that out there. 2 different brake markers again. Pick and choose whichever one is relevant to you and the car you pick. So as we go into here, I drop to first gear, short shift to second gear, and get on the power so early in this car. You need to. It's very balanced in second gear on the exit there. In other cars, same as the NSX, just get on the power and go, because you lose so much time here in these cars. Full spoon then. I'm breaking the 100 board, believe it or not here. This is insane. But you normally will use the escape road that is coming up near the 50 board that I've highlighted in the distance there. But the 100 board here in the Diablo is what you need if you want the fast lap in the Diablo. We're going to trail brake a little bit towards the curb. When we touch the curb, we let go, we accelerate a little bit, and we have to get off that right-hand side curb very quickly. So I went to second gear, then up to third here. Just be careful on the exit. The car will want to wiggle, and it's very hard to catch sometimes, this car. Stay in fourth gear now as you head to 130R. Now, the 100 board is a brake marker, believe it or not, in the Diablo. We saw what happened in the race there with Ugandan. But the 50 board in most cars. So you're going to pick one of these 2 markers or the lamppost in the middle. Just pick and choose accordingly, depending on the car. But I'm using the 100 board here in the Diablo, hitting the brakes. I'm dropping to around 130 miles an hour, and then I can accelerate through the corner. Happy days, no issues. I head over towards the left-hand side. Now, I'm using the end of the tarmac on the right-hand side in the Diablo. In the NSX, I was using the start of the yellow line, just before it actually... in terms of this final chicane. Okay, so pick and choose again accordingly. The 150 board on chase cam, very helpful to you if you're on chase cam right now. We're going to hit the brakes. So I drop to second gear here. I turn in. I use all the curb. I accelerate a little bit, lift off, turn, and then I want to get on the power very early here. Now, as you go through this right-hander, notice that I had to drop to 80% throttle because this car will always steer otherwise. We head towards the inside. That's a 2-minute 0.492. And you can check this lap out on the leaderboard and, of course, in the Delta app. So here is some bloopers then. So Sparks, gets it completely wrong into turn 1 here in Daily Race A into the back of Kiwi. So that explains why Sparks got the 2-second penalty. And that's what I wanted to know. So going through here, tiny tap there between Kiwi and Sparks. But this is a common incident that you will experience every week. So, every time you race here. So as you go through the week there, Constantina effect, everyone goes into each other, and then somebody gets all barriered completely. Now, Kiwi gets 5-second penalty. Pretty harsh to say they were hit from behind. I do feel like the penalty system should take that into consideration, but hey, it is what it is. Look at this, side-by-side at racing. So we're just checking if Bruno Racing should have left me a bit more space than they did, or whether it was server issues. We're going to head towards left-hander. Brilliant racing so far as we go through here. As we continue on, there's a little bit of server lag, but I'm not sure there would have been any room in there anyway because it's set itself and they were still on the curb. So I would argue needed more racing room was needed there, and in real life, a penalty would be given, I imagine. Right, let's have a look at this one. Was it a server-related issue, or should I have waited up? Is the question as we go into here. Oh yeah, the server's just gone nuts there. Look at that double server movement. So couldn't really done much there as we continue on through. The server was very odd here in Daily Race B today. I know Max Power also experienced the same sort of thing. Daily Race C, then what happened to Red Fox? We saw them off at Tidgney 1. No, they did not get bump drafted. I thought I'd check that. The speed did not change. It looks like they've just gone off the circuit. At least it didn't look like it. Anyway, so we jumped to Leo then. So we saw Leo off at the chicane as we go. Wow, that was close. There's the difference between cars, folks. The NSX could do it much quicker than that McLaren. Right, hard on the brake. Oh, okay. Oh, brilliant. Avoiding action there from Leo. Well played, mate. Absolutely. Oh, there we go. In the distance, I see somebody else off. Who was that? That was Shelty off here. So Shelty onto the brakes. So that breaks himself a little bit on the brakes, rolls on the brakes, tries to get the car turned. Unfortunately, collects sparks there. Probably should have waited there, Shelty. Right, let's jump to the next one then. We've got Consta here. What's going to happen to Consta? Also in the McLaren. Through there we go. Somebody off in the distance. Oh, no! Consta loses it there on the old slippy stuff on the outside. As we continue on there. And we're coming very well, though. Well played there, Consta. And Hockey, we all saw what happened. But let's have a look. Oh, clips the right tyre. You'll do that very often in this Ferrari and the Diablo as well. They're very wide at the rear, remember. They're wider at the back than they are at the front. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, as always, get a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. Do check out my partners there, including Coach Dave Academy. They do partner up with this video. Check out the Delta app. It's absolutely amazing. I am going to do a video on it that they don't even really know about, where I show you how I would use it, and I wish it was around when GT Academy was around. As always, big thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.